we talked about this potential development a few months ago, and sure enough, it's starting to happen. With the prices of homes going up as much as they are and interest rates going up, there's some entrepreneurial, or maybe you even want to call it opportunistic, companies that are looking at this as a way to make money. What they're doing is they're putting the rent to own model onto real estate instead of just renting an apartment where you just rent every month and then you move out when you're done, or buying a house which requires a lot of income requirements and down payment, and maybe you don't qualify. These companies are doing a rent to own for real estate, and according to the article in Fast Company, they're saying that it's putting aspiring homeowners in financial jeopardy. And the reason why is because their ownership is a little bit dubious. The title's not in your name. You don't really own it. You're renting it, and supposedly they're taking some of the money and putting it away for you to own that home later. However, there's no guarantee you're going to qualify for the mortgage later. And also, there's a lot of clauses, according to this article, and this company's brand new, where they can keep that money. If you default on your rent, or you decide you want to move, or if it needs work, you have to do the work. So it's the best of both worlds for the landlord, right? They get rent from you, but you have to do the maintenance and repairs. It's one thing if you own a house, you're responsible for maintenance and upkeep and fixing things. But isn't that one of the advantages of renting, where if something goes wrong, you just call the guy? You just don't have to deal with any maintenance. This is kind of best of both worlds for landlords, maybe worst of both worlds for tenants, where you pay your rent, it's higher than a regular rent would be, and you have to pay if things break, because technically you rent to own. This is something that has some risk involved, and most financial experts will tell you, look, if you're ready to buy a house, go ahead and buy one. If you're not, then rent. But don't try to mix it together, because you may end up with the worst of both worlds. This company is called Divvy. We're not familiar with it. We haven't reviewed if it's good or bad, or have an opinion. It's just that this article is saying that there may be some things you might be cautious of if you do something like this. Not necessarily this company, but just in general. If you're going to half rent and half own, which half are you getting? Are you getting the good half or the bad half? What are your thoughts on rent to own property? It's not like rent to own a TV where it's a small investment. This is the largest investment, and there's a lot of clauses where you might not be able to purchase that home, or go through with the purchase, or get the money that's supposed to be credited all in your favor, if there's clauses that allow the rent to own company to deduct it and keep it for default or other violations.